Hello and welcome into the Michigan Football Report. Friday, August 10th. Let's get right into the rumors, James. And first one up on the board, our tension's getting a little high on the Michigan practice field.
Yeah, Lena, 3 Harbaugh heads on this one. There was a fight that broke out in the past few days. Michigan football practice. Now, they had 5 days of unpadded practices. Some jerseys, helmets, running 7-on-7s. Got into the pads just a couple days ago, Lena. Fight happened, big-time fight. I don't want to put the names out because the guy who told me about this fight told it to me in confidence. I'm not giving it 4 Harbaugh head. I didn't talk to Jim Harbaugh specifically in this one or anyone who happened to be at practice. So this is kind of secondhand information, but heard it was amongst linemen and maybe even some linemen on the same side of the field. One guy doing his job, one guy not doing his job, some words exchanged, and then some fisticuffs. Guys would have came to blows had coaches and other players not broken it up. So some can say, whoa, tension, but maybe it's a little competition there amongst these linemen that are getting some fisticuffs at the University of Michigan practice. But keep an eye on this one. If we hear about more fights 2-3 weeks from now as we're leading into the Notre Dame game, you might want to get concerned. But as of now, 3 Harbaugh heads laying out fighting at Michigan football practice.
I like it. A lot of passion. That is never a bad thing, James. Let's take it to our rumor-o-meter before we get to rumor number 2. 0 Harbaugh heads. Totally false. Pretty fake news. Okay, 1 Harbaugh head. Small shredded truth. 2 Harbaugh heads. You guys know people are talking. Okay. 3 Harbaugh heads. It's pretty likely. And 4 Harbaugh heads. It is an FACK fact. That is how Harbaugh spells it, and that's how we spell it here at Chat Sports. All right, let's talk about the development of some of the younger guys, junior, sophomores on the team. Are they not going so hot? It's not going the way we want it to.
It's more the offensive lineman lane. I talked to a source. I've been talking to a source who has some really inside info on the offensive line. Giving this one 4 Harbaugh heads, FACK, just how Jim Harbaugh spells it. That's the seniors, the junior and seniors offensive linemen. Guys like John Runyon Jr., Jawan Bushel, Beatty, and a few others that are not developing. Guys that came out of the spring is like, hey, they're the upperclassmen. They've been here for 3 years. They got the starting reps in the spring. As we get into fall, Lena, these guys are underperforming offensive line coach Ed Warinner on campus, kind of wanting to bring an a championship level offensive line, was not satisfied. I was told by my source that Warinner chewed out these players a few weeks ago and blatantly came out and said, hey, here are the guys that are starting on my team based on what I've seen all summer and all spring. We see him here. Jalen Mayfield, I broke it last week, is taking the starter snaps at that right tackle position. On the other side, it's James Hudson taking the snaps, a redshirt freshman. So you have the opportunity potentially for Michigan at that opener in South Bend, 22 days from now, Lena, to be taking the tackles to be a redshirt freshman, true freshman. I think it's that way. I think one of them will start for sure.
Alrighty, let's take it to some Shea talk now. How is he looking in these shotgun base sets? Rumor has it, James, he's thriving.
Well, we broke the story last Saturday, Lena. Everyone else tried to take credit for it on Tuesday, all the radio shows and bloggers, that Michigan is running up to 50% of their sets in shotgun. Shea Patterson is thriving out of this sets, and because I believe Michigan's offensive set is doing things that, don't play into what Shea's mistakes potentially could be, which are throwing errant passes down the field, specifically over the middle of the field. What they implemented is very short passing games, specifically on first down, second down. When they go to shotgun, we're talking about 3- and 4-yard outs, 5-yard slants, the RPOs where he can hand it off if he sees the corner, the nickel, or the safety kind of come towards, or that middle linebacker come towards the run. He can pull it back and pass it for like a 3- or 4-yard gain. Guy slips a tackle, it's 8-yard gains, it's 10-yard gains. So Shea Patterson, we already said it's FACK. Barring injury, he's going to be your starting quarterback, Lena. Last season was on pace for 3,800 yards, kind of 6.5 games as Ole Miss's quarterback before he got hurt in that LSU game. So they're putting him in the shotgun package, and he is completing as high as 80% of his passes, what I've been told, the first few days of padded practice on those under 5 yards and under routes, which kind of in a shotgun set, those serve as really nice running plays, right? If you just throw a 5-yard out to a wide receiver, he gets tackled instantly. It's much better than an incompletion or a 2-yard run or a loss or something like that.
All right, all you Michigan Wolverine fans out there, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/chatsportstv. We have the hottest Wolverine coverage on the internet, safe to say, James.
The Michigan Football Report, the #1 most watched Michigan football program on planet Earth. Over in Afghanistan, they can't compete with us. In America, obviously cannot compete with us regardless. Go ahead and subscribe right there. Chatsports.com/YouTube Michigan takes you directly to the playlist. Subscribe to Chat Sports, and you will be getting the best coverage, like Lena said. All right, take a look at this promotion we've got for Michigan football fans. Lena, you're making cash. I'm making big cash on this one. BetDSI is now the sponsor of the Michigan Football Report. If you sign up now, chatsports.com/bet will take you right to BetDSI. Use the promo code GOBLUE. You put down $100, Lena, you get 120 free cash in the bank. And you can bet on Michigan football, and not just the wins and losses, about who's going to start a quarterback and some others. Chatsports.com/bet, promo code Go Blue. You can't forget that one. Chatsports.com/bet. Go Blue is your 120% promo code.
Well, speaking of betting on the quarterbacks, James, Shea, is he a lock to start for the Wolverines?
Well, so this is pretty interesting, right? So Shea Patterson, the odds started to go up a couple weeks ago. BetDSI has the absolute best bets for these, these kind of off the book, these kind of funky things that people think that you're going to bet on. Who's going to win this game? Obviously, everybody does that one. Who's going to start? Who's going to score? All this different stuff. FACK, they said he is a lock to start. And you know why that is, Lena? They pulled the odds off the book, BetDSI did. You know why? Because so many Michigan fans are putting money on Shea Patterson. They said, wow, no one's betting on Milton, no one's betting on McCaffrey or Peters. So with that being said, they pulled the odds, but thanks to Chet Sports, this isn't a hearsay, probably anything. We called BetDSI up yesterday. We said, yeah, you got to put these odds back up on the board because people want to bet them. Now, I tweeted out a couple weeks ago, Lena, the odds were like 2-1 that Shea would have bet. So meaning you could have won, $50, $60, you put up 100. Take a look at this tweet here. It was 190, which means, if you bet 100, you make, I don't have the exact number in front of me, but you don't quite make it. You got to put up twice as much money that you win, whatever it was. Now the odds are back up, and as you're going to see coming up here later, they are so slanted in Shea Patterson's favor. It is ridiculous, but if you think about it, if you bet 100, you're going to win almost $30 plus your 100 back, of course, so you don't have to give up that. But if you bet like Dylan McCaffrey, like here's a chance to start. You put down $100 in Dylan McCaffrey, you're winning $1,850 in cash. So if Shea Patterson, sprains an ankle the day before the Notre Dame game, you are winning big money. So the question is there, Lana, I think you got to ask it because I've already made the bet. I got the really good odds.
Would you guys wager money on Shea being the starting quarterback versus Notre Dame week 1? You're going to win almost $30 here, risking 100. Kind of a no-brainer.
So barring injury, it's basically like saying, hey, if I walked outside of this studio and someone handed me $30, would I do it? Absolutely. But there's the risk that you could sprain your ankle. Would it still be worth it if you had to give up $100, you split your ankle? I got in a little early, Lane. I could win like $60 on my 100, whatever it is, because of that. But if you saw those other ones, you could win big money if McCaffrey, if Milton, if Peters gets the starting job. So go to chatsports.com/bet. Takes you right to BetDSI to bet on this one. Promo code GOBLUE. You get 120% bonus cash on your money. Deposit 100, 120 free cash.
That's easy money, James. Let's take it to our 5th rumor now. We're going to take a little Ed Warinner. Is he not being made available to the media, James?
All right, so I put this on Twitter just last weekend, I believe it was Saturday, Sunday, right after the last Michigan football report, Lena, is that someone I talked to said that, look, there's members of the national media trying to get the next story on this. And because Urban Meyer has this coaching factory, this coaching tree that put guys out, offensive coordinator Ed Warinner was the offensive coordinator, was Zach Smith, the Ohio State former wide receiver coach, accused of assaulting his wife. He was his direct report. And so is there people out there looking to say, what did Ed Warinner know? What did Ed Warner's wife know? What do the other coaches in that staff, even Tom Herman, who is now the coach at Texas, wasn't his boss that 2015, but as we know, this abuse allegedly was happening well before 2015. We're giving 4 Harbaugh heads on this one. Media, Michigan made assistant coaches available yesterday to the media. Don Brown was made available. On offense, Jay Harbaugh, right? Jay Harbaugh, the running backs coach, kind of like the 4th man down the totem pole on offense, was made available. Ed Warinner was not. I put it on Twitter yesterday. Probably a good move. Why give the media a story where maybe one doesn't exist? You see this Ohio State coaching staff here, Lana, and you see Ed Warinner, Tim Beck no longer there, Urban Meyer, of course. Then you have Zach Smith. This is the guy in question. His wife Courtney Smith, with those photos of abuse on her hand, her arms, etc. And so will these guys be the next ones to be targets of media investigation? People have already reached out to Michigan, I'm told, say, hey, is this guy going to be available at your next media availability? And they didn't make him available, so that's FACK.
Well, this takes us to our 6th rumor here, James. People are kind of hounding Warinner with all this OSU talk, especially the national media.
So it's not like a frenzy by any means, but this one is also a fact that the national media has reached out. They've asked to speak with Warinner. I'm sorry, 3 Harbaugh heads. My bad, that one. I was looking at I got blinded by Harbaugh. It's like a double vision of Harbaugh on that bottom row. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's just 3 Harbaugh heads. So reached out to Michigan's media relations for the football team and said, like I said, can we talk to Ed Warinner? We want to. So I haven't talked to the guy writing the article specifically, but I've talked to somebody who knows him, who knows what the allure is, and it's kind of trying to set this this environment of indifference towards violence is what was going on at Ohio State. So 3 Harbaugh heads on this one. They reached out. I haven't talked to the writer specifically, but people who know him know that this was happening. Michigan didn't make him available. The national media want to talk to him, and it's not going to stop. Unless Urban Meyer steps away from the job, Lena, and there's no investigation, Ed Warinner is going to eventually have to talk to the media. And Jim Harbaugh, when he talks to the media, we got the schedule just a day or two ago. He talks to him coming up, I believe, in a couple of days, Lena. What's Jim Harbaugh going to say? Hey, did you know about this? If you asked him what he knew, he might be put in the pickle, and Michigan better be preparing him for those type of questions.
We'll definitely keep you guys updated right here on the Michigan Football Report with all the latest on that. Let's kind of change gears here a little bit, talk national championship odds for the Wolverines. That stock going up.
The stock is going up, Lena. So Michigan used to be 6th, 7th down the line, 8th sometimes. I've seen other ones with Penn State above them, one in Michigan State in them kind of odds. So the odds have boosted. Michigan is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th most likely, if I'm doing my my math right, on the odds here. And so they are plus 1,400 to be national champion in the 2017-18 season. So people are talking 2 Harbaugh heads on this one because, just because of gambling, a bookie doesn't make them available, puts the odds better. It doesn't mean their odds actually change in reality. It just means people are talking. Some folks out there, the bookies, Bet DSI, the best place to bet your sports odds, are saying Michigan is now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Am I counting that right in my blind? You've got Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State. I'm surprised those didn't go down a little bit because of the uncertainty with Urban Meyer. Georgia plus 750. And then you've got a big jump after that. It's clearly consensus, the top 4 schools. Michigan 5th, and then right behind them, Washington, Penn State, Oklahoma, Auburn. Then you see MSU, whose odds have come way down. If you put $100 on Michigan State, they win the national title, $4,200. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code GOBLUE, 120% cash bonus. Lane, you put $500 down, you get $600 in free cash. I can't even imagine. Imagine you walked into a car dealership and say, hey, $500 a month car payment, and we'll give you $600. That's insane. Go chatsports.com/bet. Promo code ChatSports to tell them the Michigan Football Report, James and Lena, sent you.
Yep, only the best for all of our fans here on the Michigan Football Report. Let's take it to rumor number 8. Did Harbaugh question Warinner about this OSU stuff, James?
Yes, this one's 3 Harbaugh heads. I was thinking about giving this a 2 Harbaugh head. We said, hey, we can't cut the Harbaugh heads in half yet. We haven't figured out how to do that. So 3 Harbaugh heads. That it is pretty likely that Harbaugh talked to him last week when this story came out and got the word, hey, we didn't talk about this. We didn't know about this when we hired you. He was away from the Ohio State program for an entire season in 2017. We didn't know about this stuff that happened in 16. Hey, your wife, if your wife was a coach's wife, which of course she was, this woman saying your wife knew, did she tell you? No one knows what came out of those conversations, even the people closest connected with the program. But I'm told it's pretty likely that Jim Harbaugh had a conversation with Ed Warinner, maybe even people from the athletic department, just trying to get ahead. Is there a story brewing here? Maybe we have to make a decision. What happens if texts come out between Warner's wife and Courtney Smith? You never know. Michigan is getting prepared. Jim Harbaugh said, hey, what'd you know? When you know it? I don't think they would fire him unless it came out that he absolutely lied to them during this conversation. So we'll see what comes of this one. But this is not that story that you don't want to. People are saying on Twitter, this is bull. He wasn't the head of the program. But it comes down to perception. If perception was that he knew about it and did nothing, is Michigan going to be under fire next? Yeah,
and Harbaugh does not want any of that, James. Yep. All right, we talked national championship odds. Let's talk about Big Ten odds. What are Michigan's odds looking like to win the Big Ten this year, James?
Well, I'm calling it FACK, and that's most likely because I think just realistically any sports fan would have to say this is where they should be. This is also where Bet DSI has them. So the odds changed again in the past couple of days. That's where we're bringing this back up. So Michigan, Lena, is a plus 385. You put down $100 at Bet DSI plus your 120, you're getting free. You're getting 385 in winnings should Michigan win the Big Ten title. Who is above them? Of course, Ohio State at near even money plus 135. Then Wisconsin, plus 250. So $250 back and bet 100 on them. But you got to think about this. Obviously, Wisconsin should have probably the best or the second best odds because they're going to walk through the division, I believe. And then it's 50-50. Do they win that championship game or not? Ohio State clearly the favorite. But I think it's a good sign that in the national championship race and the Big Ten, that the gamblers, the sports books like Bet DSI, the #1 place to your sports bet, has Michigan third ahead of Penn State, ahead of Michigan State. They're getting the respect they deserve, I think, going into the season with all the people coming back. So, there's the question. Go ahead and ask people.
Let us know, guys. Would you guys risk $10 to win almost $40 on Michigan winning the Big Ten? I'm definitely putting my money down.
I've already put it down. down. Yeah, I mean, this is like this is the best $10 you can spend. You can spend that on coffee the next 2 days, right? Why not put it on Michigan football, win $40 back? Then you've got yourself a nice dinner date with your lady or gentleman instead of that coffee that you're wasting. So put $10 on Michigan at BetDSI. Do it today because the odds might start going in the other way. You may only win $20, something like that, once we see him on the field.
Promo code GOBLUE.
Yep.
All right, rumor number 10. Michigan likely to go 9-3 in 2018. Tell me a little bit about this.
So this is Michigan fans have really been betting. I think it's due to the Michigan Football Report with BetDSI, one of the only sports books that puts these kind of odds out, because they took them off the book too. They took Shea Patterson off there because so many people were betting one direction or the other. They didn't want to lose their hat. The odds are back up, Lena. So we're calling this one. What do we say this one? This was a 2 Harbaugh heads because this is just people are talking, right? This is the sports books. The odds have changed, right? So Michigan is now, they're saying that is more likely they go 9-3 than 10-2 because the odds are kind of slanted in the favor of that. So you've got to put up, if you put up $100 and Michigan goes over 9.5, clearly they don't want to put 9 or 10 because if they get on that number, nobody wins, of course. So 9.5. So if Michigan goes under, Lena, you can win. You bet $100, you only win $69 back. So that means they think they're slanting the odds in that direction. That hey, they're probably going to win 9 more than 10 because if you bet 10, of course it's 145. You get much more than what you risk. So it's more likely, according to the bookies, that they're going to win 9 games, go 9-3, 8-4, something like that. Then it would be 10-2. 6 games against what I think will be at the time ranked teams. We know the Big 5 plus Northwestern's out there weren't ranked initially in the coach poll. I think they will be with the time Michigan plays. Chatsports.com/bet. If Michigan goes 10-2, put the $100 down. You win 145 back. That's amazing. That's really good. I like that a lot.
All right, let's continue here with our rumors in the Michigan Football Report. And we're going to keep on with this kind of odds theme here. So rumor number 11, is Meyer going to remain the Ohio State coach?
Well, it is like we're putting these odds up because they just released. These are so fun. I seriously spent 2 hours last night looking at these odds and trying to model out how I'm just going to become a BetDSI millionaire pretty soon. And so the odds are coming out, Atlanta. It is looking, I forget we're giving those 3 Harbaugh heads because these odds are kind of copied across all different Vegas sports books, wherever you can bet. Easiest to do it from your phone with BetDSI. 3 Harbaugh heads. I called it out there that, hey, look, if they would have fired him, they were going to do it a week ago. They were going to do it instantly. They knew something. The odds are kind of coming back as, look, Urban Meyer is most likely, you got to put down a ton of cash to just make a little bit of cash if you think that, you want him to keep his job there at Ohio State. So will he be fired, of course? If you put up 100, Lena, you've got to, you can win 600. You got to put up $1,500 to win 100. So take a look at these odds. We want to know from you guys, of course, will he be fired, Lena? With these odds, knowing that you got to put 1,500 over to 600, what would you bet? Does he get fired? Does he? Where are you putting your money on these on BetDSI?
Do you know what? Call me crazy. I'm taking the odds that he's going to get fired.
Yeah?
I am. I think there's just too much going on right now in that kitchen in Ohio State. It's all about reputation. It's all about perception, James. I don't think it's a good idea to keep him.
So, I mean, if you put up 100, Lena, you win $1,500. I mean, this is insane odds. I actually have not bet on this one. I am going to. And it's like, okay, cool. You lose, but you had 15-1 odds. I think it's better than 15-1 that you're going to win. You think he doesn't get fired, you're going to put up 600 just to win 100. So that's kind of crazy. More Urban Meyer odds.
All right. So over/under games, he'll be suspended. So he doesn't get fired. They're going to take a few games away from him in the regular season. So over 4.5, 150, and then under 4.5, 120. What are you taking on this one?
I mean, so it clearly looks like they think like 4, 5, 6. So what it says here is like, look, if he gets suspended, it's going to be between 3 and 6 games is where these odds kind of shake out. So, if you think 3 games, you got to think Ohio State's first Big Ten game, game 4. Maybe they come back for that game. They want him back for the Big Ten. Maybe game 5. I believe they Penn State game. So that's kind of where this comes in. Do you want Urban in place for that bad boy? More odds coming up, though.
This is the last one right here. BetDSI odds he'll just be suspended in general. So we're not talking over and under. We're not talking games. Just in general, will Urban Meyer be suspended?
You put up 100. You get 2,000, right, for yes. And then the other way, suspended no, 100, 750. I'm sorry. We got to put 2,000 to get 100. I might be messing those numbers up. I am. I'm not a mathematician, but I'm pretty close. So, no. So the odds here, Lena, is almost guaranteed 20-1 that he does get suspended. And if you say no suspension at all, you're making some big-time cash. So it's pretty wild. The odds basically say if you took all those odds, BetDSI, put your money on, you said, going to keep his job, going to get suspended, and it's going to be about 3, 4, 5 games. That's what it's going to be.
All right, lastly, rumor number 12. What are Shea's Heisman odds here? So right now we're saying he's 7th most likely to win the Heisman. Seems a little low to me, but what do you got to say, James?
Well, I mean, think of all the great players that are coming back. And guy who threw his hat in the ring, Tua Tagovailoa, if I got that right.
Nailed
2
it.
Harbaugh heads. People are talking. Take a look at the odds coming up. Shea Patterson. I put this money down, Elena. I put a little bit more than $10, but it's basically 16.5 ones.
Yeah.
You put $10 down. It's more. It's less what you spend on, like I said, coffee over a couple days. You win 165 of Shea guys. That's what makes sports so fun. And now that you can do it with BetDSI and get paid to do it with promo code Go Blue, it is tremendous. So put 10 on it. 165 you win if Shea Patterson wins the Heisman Trophy.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in to Michigan Football Report, and thanks to our friends at BetDSI for sponsoring the show. Until next time, go Blue.